Let's see if it works.
Thanks for having me. Not that I know that you knew I was coming, but I do like speaking here at Deb's classes, and it is a tremendous, tremendous topic to speak about. Not just to a class like this, but to any class, anywhere, anytime. There is so much suffering going on in our world because of how people treat each other, and I have been a victim of that treatment, and I just want to share a little bit about myself. I want to share about me, but I also want to talk about you because this is a really big topic that involves you, and you may not have thought about a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to talk about it. Hit you maybe right between the eyes, but it's a good thing. It's not a negative thing. But this is better than church. You guys are way up here, which is really cool. And if you guys would come up a little closer, that would be really good, because then we'd be a little group that I can not see people all the way back.
They're going to have to get out of their boxes.
It's a comfort zone. I know that comfort zone. We all have it.
Nicole's a math teacher, so.
I can tell them.
Yeah, well, I can speak. Well, you're fun.
I can speak. So yeah, I've been a high school math teacher now for 36 years. And I don't know if I told you that, but I'm making this my last one.
Yeah, I think you told me.
So I'm at the end of my career as a high school teacher, but I certainly am not at the end of my career as a speaker, as a teacher of people, because just to show of hands, how many people in here have anybody in their life that's transgender? Oh wow, very, very cool. So those of you who didn't raise your hand, I'm sure are somewhat aware of it because our society is getting more and more up on the knowledge of this. But a few things before I even get started is, I gotta say, I transitioned 6 years ago, and I did it through high school, and I was a guide teacher until I was 50, and then did that thing, and actually I was 52 now when I did it, but it was a big thing, and living as a woman now for these last 6 years, I gotta say, how come no one has invented something that keeps your bra straps from falling down? Number one. And number two, I think I'm gonna start a new fashion thing with pantyhose that run all the time. So you can wear whatever you want with these pantyhose that run, because it's like you buy them, you bring them home, you have to put them on, they gotta run in them already. It's like, I got a whole separate account for my pantyhose because they run all the time. But it isn't about that. It is a pain in the butt, but it isn't about that. I just had a really, really intimate conversation yesterday with a very close friend of mine. He also is a high school teacher. He has 4 children, 2 marriages, had a vasectomy, second life, reverse vasectomy, had twins. They grew up as Will and Grace. That is their names. Yesterday he called me and he said, I need to talk to you really bad. Can we meet? I said, sure. Trust me, I did not know what we were going to talk about. I had thought that it was going to be about his son, but I wasn't sure what he was going to talk about his son, because his son's been going crazy lately. As in, belligerent, refuses to do school, dropped out as a junior, has an IQ probably of 150 at least. Kid's brilliant. Wouldn't do school. The mother and the father did not know what was going on. They really still don't. But, so he called me and he said, Will has been doing some really crazy stuff. Now he wants to wreck our home, wreck my car, and we finally had to trick him into going to the doctor because he had some money on his counter in his bedroom, and his mom went in and saw it because he's been so belligerent lately that they're trying to take his cell phone away, and he wouldn't give it back to him. So she saw the $100 and took it. So I don't know how long later, he notices that his money is gone. So he comes out and he says, where's my $100? He says, you don't get it because I need that cell phone. He goes, put his fist through the wall and said, now you can pay for that with that $100. And walked out, ran out of the house, hand bleeding and everything. So this is going on. I'm just going, oh my God, this does not sound like the kid that I know. So she tricks him into saying, okay, we need to go to the doctor. Meanwhile, she had called the hospital and said, I'm bringing my son in. He's out of control. I need to do something with him. What can we do? The hospital said, we will get a group of I don't know what they call it, guys with white coats on. We'll tackle him when he comes in the room, and we'll take him to this facility where it's like a critical care facility for kids on drugs or kids out of control. Well, she gets to the hospital, and he figures something's up, and he won't get out of the car. She goes around to grab him, and he gets out of her hold and takes off. He jumps a high fence over into a ravine where people who have done that before have died, and he didn't. This kid is scared to death, and these parents do not know what's going on with this kid. They're afraid. But guess what I think? This kid, he's either gay or transgender. He is so afraid. He lives in a country town where they drive trucks, they cuss, and they make fun of gay people. And this kid is scared to death. He's like a rabid dog that's backed in a corner. Does not know what to do. And both parents have the suspicion that that's what's happening. And at this point, I don't even know that that's what's happening. What I can tell you is, I know exactly how that kid feels, if that in fact is the case. Because what a person feels like in our society is that we are going to lose all the people in our life when they find out our secret. And I had this secret for 40 years. Didn't tell anybody. Grew up in a little town. Family of 11 kids. Third oldest. Catholic. Anybody know where Sublimity is? Ever heard of Sublimity? Really? You know where Silverton is? Oh, of course. Well, Sublimity is next to about 13 miles from Silverton. Next to Staten. Have you heard of Staten? Okay. Well, that's the little area. That's the area I grew up in. Very redneck. Not a place that you wouldn't tell anybody you're transgender, that's for sure. And when I was a little kid, I did not know that. I did not know what was going on with me. You know, everybody's born, boy, girl. You think. And you think that what you think is how everybody else thinks. So when I was a little kid, I didn't think like other kids thought, as I found out. When I would see little girls running around, and don't get me wrong, I was attracted to females. Still am. I was married for 28 years, so I had 3 children. So I knew the heterosexual thing, and I don't know how to qualify myself now, but I don't give a darn about it anyway. But, what was I going with that?
Sublimity, you're
Yeah.
growing up.
You were in a little town, and you think everybody thinks like you do. So little girls. So I look, see little girls. They have these cute little dresses on. I would look at them and go, wow, she's really cute. She's really cute. I'd go, wow, that's a really cute dress. I'd love to wear that dress. That's what I thought. I thought all little boys were thinking that. I didn't know. That's how I thought. So I grew up like that. And the moment that I found out or realized that I was not really thinking like everybody else was, my brother was a year younger than me, and I had 2 older sisters. So we had an attic, and a lot of their old clothes were up in this attic. And I thought, those clothes are up there. It's an attic. We can go in there, play around, nobody's watching, safe. Plus, I didn't really think it was a big deal. So I went to my brother. I said, hey, let's go up to that know there's some clothes up there. There's a bunch of toys. Let's go up there and play. We can dress up. So we go up there, and I knew exactly where I was going because I had found this dress before, my sister's dress, and put this thing on. And it was at that moment, I was 5 years old. At that moment, it was like Christmas Day. I just felt the most excitement, the most at peace. It was just like, wow, this is really cool. I talked to my brother and put one on too. He was 4, so he didn't really know what he was doing. But he did, but went on. So we played around for a couple hours. And I was just really having fun. I would twirl, and it would twirl out, and I was just loving it. So a couple hours later, our mom calls up and says, time for dinner, come on down, whatever you're doing up there. So we did. And I thought, okay, I'll come back. Well, the next day I go to my brother, and I said, yeah, let's go do that again. He's 4. He goes, no way. That was so stupid. I'm not doing that again. I thought, oh, I want to do that again. Why don't you want to do it again? It was at that moment where I realized that he wasn't thinking like I was thinking, and that's how I was always thinking. So it was a really big thing that I realized at that moment that I had to keep it a secret, because if I didn't, I'd probably get made fun of. So I did. We all search for our own happiness. We are human beings that love to be happy. And we're always searching for those things that make us happy. Right? We have things that make us feel good, and we avoid the things that make us feel bad. But that's what we do. So we get into relationships that make us happy. We find a job or an occupation or a study program or a religion. We collect all these things that make us happy. Right? People are involved with that happiness. We have a boyfriend, we have a girlfriend, we have family. We have cousins, we have aunts, uncles, we have grandpas, grandmas. And all those people are in our life, and we tell them we love them. Right? We all say, I love you, I love you, goodbye Grandma, I love you, goodbye Uncle John, I love you. And we're never challenged about that. That piece right there, we're never challenged about. So I'm going to ask you this question. Think of all those people. Think of all those people that you have said, I love. And then, imagine one of them coming to you and saying, I'm transgender. And we all have our little concept of what that was. I was going to come in here with big blue eyeshadow and a really high bouffant hairdo, that caricature of what transgender people are thought to be like. I'm not like that. Of course, not like that. But I want you to think of that, all those people that you truly love, and the one person that maybe is most important to you, the significant other in your life. What if they came to you and said, I'm transgender? I ask you, what would you do? What would you do with that person? You told them you love them. What does that mean? See, in my opinion, people in our world do not know what that means. What I think they mean is, I need you. I need you to be this way. This is how I saw you come into my life. I like what I see. I want you to stay that way, because if you change, I won't like it. So stay this way. I need you to be this way. I'll even marry you if you stay that way. But you don't think like that because you think that's the way they're going to stay. So what would you do? That's a big question. It happened to me in my life. I will tell you this with most sincerity. When I said it to the people in my life, I meant it. I didn't care if they were purple, if they were striped, if they smelled like garlic. I didn't care. I loved them and wanted them in my life. They told me, we love you too. A lot of people told me that. Guess what? I was married for 28 years to a person I adored and still adore. That person told me they loved me all the time. All the time. I believed them. What did it mean? To me it meant we will be together forever.